Welcome back to another live session on NY Session Traders. Hope that you had an enjoyable day. After a successful session in the previous live, we are back on track again for Tuesday. Pretty volatile day, and would like to trade the market again all together in this volatile market. I hope that you guys are enjoying this live session that I'm doing every day. Make sure you give a thumbs up before I begin, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Let's begin another big live. We will be looking at in this live session Euro dollar, Xauusd, dollar yen, and also Gbpjpy. We see that GJ getting a stronger rejection from the top, which is pretty stronger bearish price action in that area. So looking at, first of all, I'll begin with gold, Xauusd. Let's look at what kind of trading opportunity we have, starting with gold, looking at the daily chart. Now this is a significantly bull market that you can see on gold, and that bull market, if you look at here, you can see that it's trending aggressively. Now in that uptrending market on gold, we can see from the daily the price has dropped to that key level and then has got the rejection from that key level, and with that rejection that we can see the market from this key level. Okay, so you can see the price, this is a resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, turn support here. From that support level there is a sharp bounce back to the upside again on the daily time frame. So I'll be doing a full analysis here before we look for any trade setup. In our previous session we had a successful trade that you guys have seen that. Now not only one trade will not give you any indication of what's gonna happen. The goal here is not to give you a fish to feed yourself for the day, but to teach you how to fish so that you can feed yourself for the rest of the life. That's our main goal here in the Forex Trading Wizard Academy. If you guys are ready to understand the market, say yes in the live chat. Nicholas, nobody today for trading. Upcoming news. There is of course, this is $1 trillion market. So let's look at here on Xauusd, and today there isn't any high impact news, but still the market is volatile because coming up Thursday, a big trading day, quite a few news coming up on AUD, Euro, GBP, dollar. So those orders are potentially coming in the market. So that is what we are preparing here for possible trend to the upside. Now, what kind of market structure has formed on gold? Let's look at, first of all, here the entry point on gold, where you can look for that entry opportunity to see overall direction in this market. So looking at 4-hour chart here, I'm looking at, because this intraday time frame, this 4-hour price action is where there is an organized bullish market structure. Market structure is key, as I mentioned earlier before quite a few times as well. There are 3 secrets in this universe that Nikola Tesla once said, that if you want to know the secret of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. There are 3 secrets in a human being, right? Thinking, feeling, and acting. These are the 3 secrets that you can discover yourself as well to find out who you are. So if you want to find out what is the market is, how to trade, you don't need anything else that we discuss. That all the strategies every professional trader uses based on these 3 fundamental secret. Either you are an institutional trader or retail trader. Market structure, liquidity, and price action. So you need ATR, right, to understand the volatility, and you need a trend to find the directional bias, and you need liquidity and the price action confirmation for an entry. That's all you need to trade the market. The rest is just poor translation, right? So if you want to learn the market, if you want to become a better trader, so the only thing that you need to look for is these three fundamental secret. Now you might see it's too little information for me to rely on to take a trading decision. It's not. In fact, if you look at here, imagine that there are two beams of light, as these are the real information that will change the your look at the market, because it's not all about one trade. It's also about understanding, convincing yourself to develop a stronger trading psychology so that you can trade the market without hesitation. So look at this tunnel here is bigger, right? This is smaller. If you pass same intensity of light on both of this tunnel, what's going to happen that this one is going to be smaller, so it's going to have a very high intensity in terms of light. This one will be dim, right? So this is a dim light because it's a wider. So the attention that we place or focus is like an energy. It's like a light. There is no difference between attention and the energy, because where you place your attention, the energy flows there, right? So the bigger, the more confluence, or I wouldn't say confluence, the more information that you pay attention, the less will be your focus. And that's why these days you see that there's too much information, so people can't pay attention, right? So it's become like a ADHD. A lot of people is because of too much information paying attention to and not being able to focus on one single task at a time. But if you look at the market, that's how the market, you need to pay attention to a very smaller information, because sometimes we need to make a trading decision within maybe 10 seconds, right, before the candle close. So if you have a bunch of information that you need to make your trading decision, it's gonna be very difficult. That is why it is important that you need to know what information you need to enter a trade. And that is what we are discussing about the market structure. For the directional bias, once you are sure about the market structure, the only thing that you will be doing is trading with the trend. So you can see that here from the 4-hour chart, the market is trending to the upside. So in this market, you only will be thinking of trading with the trend. So now the next thing, if you look at here, trading the bullish market structure, that you can see, we only will be looking at trading with the trend. And once you trade, we started to trade with the trend, we can look for the next thing, the next confirmation that you need to know to execute the trade is to find a price action confirmation so that we can trade with the trend, and then understanding when to enter by price action confirmation, and then based on liquidity. So looking at that point of view, that we can see this market is currently showing that bullish structure. Here you can see this is an important support level. The market is, if you look at, this is a resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, which is turning support here, which is pretty organized bullish market structure that you can see on Xauusd, giving a high probability for this market to potentially trend back to the upside here. So That being said, we are looking at here for a possible entry in the bullish direction. We already took the Asian high and 5 minutes Paulus peaks. You think it will change the direction? Anything can happen when the Paulus peaks. There the market in fact react, right? So the best strategy is not to react, right? So because when everyone is reactive, you need to be inactive, right? That's how the smart traders trade. But when everyone is inactive, then you have to be reactive, right? So always going opposite direction of the trend. So not in market, but in the practical way to do that. So if you look at here, you can see that this is a currently a lower time frame, a breakout on the market structure on gold. And if you look at the daily here, again, we can see the market from the daily time frame, the price is, this is the previous high. Okay, so, and if the market is dropping back below here to this support level, that's where we will be looking into the entry opportunity. You'd like to see a pullback here, guys. So this is the 5 minutes. Again, I'm looking at the 5-minute chart. 10 and 20 EMA crossed over from each other. Any break from the structure is where there is a probability for the market to bounce back to the upside here. Reasoning is very important, and you see that one of you said, I think Andrew, okay, I'm watching, thank you very much. Now we already took the Asian high and 5 minutes Paulus peak. You think it will change the direction? I think this is a very good approach. I really like your style of trading, and this is how I trade. Do not rely on only the price action. Do not rely on only the market structure. Rely on also the fourth dimension. Okay, this is what I call the fourth dimensional trading, based on timing, based on event. Okay, that's why I told you that reasoning is very important. Okay, so what is reasoning? Do you have an idea? Reasoning is a very higher energetic state of being. Most people don't reason, right? We just go with the flow, become like a whatever happening, just going with the flow. But reasoning means that you reason, you find out the reason, and so this is reasoning. Why the market is doing so? To find a reason, or to reason, you need to ask a lot of questions, being curious. That's why you find the reason, or you do based on reason. For example, why the market is going suddenly to the upside, asking this question. So if someone is trading without reason, then whenever he say impulse buy, because it's going up, so I might miss the trade, that's not reasoning. Just liquidity grab. It's a question or answer. But doing, if you reason, the first thing that you need to find out is asking the question, vitally important question, that why the market is going up. And then this is what it is, right? The market, how the price crossed that Asian session high, and then Powell will speak. So should we buy or sell? That's the question, right? The market may drop, but I'm not going to sell. But if it took the Asian sessions low and the Powell would have spoken, then definitely I look for buy. Why? Because it confirms the existing market structure. Let me tell you what it is. This is the daily open, right? The market initially has gone a little bit to the upside, and whole day the price dropped to that level, which is the Asian session low. Now, if the market has broken below from the price was there, and drop down has broken below, and Powell will speak out buy, because the existing market structure is bullish. So because the market initially has come back here, has gone back up and suddenly broken below, chances for going up is higher because the existing market structure is bullish. Now what it did is that it has taken the Asian's high. So the chances for coming down is higher, but it's gonna come against the trend, not validating the existing trend. That is the secrets. Okay, so that's what we will be looking at here. Now at the moment, because the market started to break to the upside, if we see the pullback to the daily support level, okay, if it come back for a pullback to this daily low or daily opening and closing, that's where we'll be looking for an entry opportunity in this market. So that's what we are looking at here on, if you look at the 1 hour and the lower time frame. This is the 1 hour price action. As you can see, if this market coming back below here, we see there is a sharp breakout. We had a trade early, a very successful trade, and looking forward to have more trading opportunity in this session here. And you can see the market from this channel is completely has broken upside here, and that breakout that you can see, the market is trying to move back to the upside. We'll be looking for an entry in this market. Powell is late, maybe some big news. Okay, so now as this market is trending in that direction, we will be looking for, okay, that potential entry at the moment. So 4 hour chart here, that you can see after this drop, the market has tested this previous resistance and support here, and it's now trying to push back to the upside with another new higher high. This is the previous session's high, so any break below is an opportunity to go long. This market is potentially preparing for a bounce to the upside. So as this trend line is broken, that we can see, and the price is almost reaching this high, today's high. So now any pullback, you see the price already 10 and 20 M already has crossed from each other. This is the 30 minutes chart and also the 15 minutes. In both time frame, the market had a sharp breakout to the resistance line. So we will be waiting for a deeper pullback here. So this session's trade is based on the pullback on the daily perspective. I know that the market may go back to the upside, which is very high probability, and that's why our trade that we have opened is based on this market structure, which is bullish trade that you guys have seen early that we have opened. Now at the moment, it's showing that bullish market structure, which is pretty sharp bounce here, expecting that this market to continue to rise to the upside to create a new higher high in this market. So looking forward to see the market is maintaining that bullish market structure here. Waiting for a confirmation. Now in just a matter of 20 minutes, you will see that the 1 hour close. Okay, so the 1 hour also, this hourly price action is also showing that bullish, and it may just continue to rise back to the upside. And the 4 hour close here, the 4 hour candle is a bullish candle. Would like to see that it's coming back here for deeper liquidity grab, and then potentially to continue to rise to the upside to create a new higher high. So you can see this is the 5 minutes price action. We will be watching the price action on the 5 minutes time frame for a potential entry in this market. Also, you could look at the 1 minute chart, but I'm looking at the 5 minutes for better entry opportunity with the multi-time frame confirmation in this market. Now, what we can see here from the currency pair that we see, also euro dollar and that of British pound US dollar. Both of this instrument currently also trending, which is a bullish trend here. And I'll keep eye on gold, that you can see the market is moving in that direction. Now still we can see the market is maintaining that bullish market structure in that area, and we may see that potentially a stronger trend continuation here, and it's on a sharp uptrending market structure. 15 minutes closing and breaking that high here. So that breakout that you guys can see, that the market may potentially continue to the upside on the 5 minutes as well, that you can see the price is pushing back up here and possibly to create a new higher high. And lower time frame price action is maintaining that bullish market structure and waiting for a potential breakup structure, and then we will be entering into the trade whichever is coming here on the market. Here's the market is showing that impulsive move back to the upside here. So that market that you can see the price slowly building up the pressure, pull back, and the market is maintaining its momentum. So now we need to see that deeper pullback here for an entry. We can see there is another 15 minutes candle closing up coming up, and that candlestick pattern that coming up on the 15 minutes is also This is also showing that possibly continuation back to the upside. Here we'll be waiting for deeper pullback. From the 4-hour chart that you can see, the market is coming for potentially for a deeper pullback, and with this pullback that we will be entering into this trade. And now you can see the market slowly trying to break below here with this momentum, and that is bringing potentially the price back below this support level. Okay, so which is an important support, and I'd like to see that it's breaking below, and with that breakdown here in this support level, expecting this market to continue to trend down here to create a new lower low in this market. Now when we see the price is showing a stronger trending direction, it is a good idea is to wait for a breakout structure, because when the market is in a sideway, for example, like that, okay, so when the market is in a sideway movement, that is where we could see the market to have a breakout at any point. But when the market is trending, we need the market breaks from the structure. And if you guys looked at the previous trade that we have taken in this live session, in our London session live from here, and also I have shared the same trade in the premium group for the VIP community. From this level that you have seen, the price has made its move back to the upside, and that breakout that you have seen from this level has made a significant break to the upside with a stronger momentum. And you can see the price tested that low and then reverted back to the upside. Now what we can see that after this breakout, the price maintain that bullish market structure, and that bullish market structure that you can see is still maintaining here, which we saw the price has broken out of the structure. We may see the price to continue to drop back down here to any of this key level for us to find an entry opportunity. As if you look at the daily, all right, so the daily low that today reached at 3384 level, right, which is today's low. The market has just broken that today's high, and because the market has broken that today's high, it doesn't mean that it's gonna continue to downtrend again. What it could do now is to break from the structure of the lower time frame trending structure, which is a very important price action confirmation here. On the lower time frame price action confirmation, that is where the actual trading opportunity will come in the market, right? So if you look at here, you can see that this is where this is the 1 hour market structure. This is the 1 hour price action here. With this you can see this 1 hour candle closing also in 10 minutes time. So it has broken out of this trend line from this resistance line, but it didn't test that level properly. Now we might see a break below for a retest of this neckline, though it is a very stronger bullish momentum, or we might see if the trend is very high, we might see the price is just keep pushing back to the upside in that direction, depending on how the market structure is being formed here. That's what we're looking at to see that potential trading opportunity on a pullback. So you can see if this level is being broken here, 3397, we might be able to find a possible entry. That's what I'm waiting, that we need to see at least one swing low or an important support or resistance has been broken here for an entry opportunity. And that is where the key, that is where the important area that we need to look for possible trading opportunity here. Now you can see this is 30 minutes price action. I do look at, you guys have seen that multiple time frame. Why do I look at the multiple time frame? Is because when you look at the multiple time frame, you started to see the market always completely in a different picture. Because when you look at the bigger picture, you can see the smaller picture in detail, not only in trading, but also in a practical life as well. As a trader, it's hard, right? Sometimes it becomes very, very difficult to remain focused as a trader. So if you are dreaming to become a trader, a profitable trader, a better trader, then look at the bigger picture always. What will happen when you become a profitable trader, right? Probably you have a job that you don't like. Don't quit the job today, okay? But you have a perspective about projected to the 5 years, 10 years time when you become a successful, profitable trader. Then probably you do that job for 30 years or 40 years from now, but you can quit in 5 to 6 years, right? Then that's a looking at the bigger picture. Always look at the end, okay? So that's how you know that when people stuck in a tunnel, they need to cross the tunnel, then no one looks at the next step. Everyone looks at those who are in the tunnel at the end, that there will be an exit. So that's where all the energy is focused to cross that. So similarly, when you look at the end, okay, what's gonna happen when you become a successful trader? That will give you that momentum to move on. All right, so that's looking at the bigger picture. So if you look at the bigger picture in the market, look at the higher time frame, and this will give you a clear idea about the lower time frame, right? Directional bias, the same thing that we discussed. Directional bias, okay? So if you look at the directional bias in the market, then look at the bigger picture, because that's where the opportunity, when you see how the market might behave on the lower time frame based on higher time frame. For example, here some trader might get confused here. If you look at the lower time frame, such as if you look at the 15 minutes time frame, you know, this is a resistance line, the price is just above the resistance. It might come back here to the support, which could do that. But if you look at the daily, you can see the bigger picture. Now what happened? The previous daily candle is a stronger bullish candle from this support level. So from the 4 hour, you can see that the price has just broken out of this swing low here from the 1 hour and the lower time frame, that we can see the market is maintaining that bullish market structure. Therefore, from the bigger picture, it is in fact biased to the upside, right? So when the market is biased to the upside, from the bigger picture perspective, only you will be looking for buying in this market. So you got an idea, either you should be buying or selling. That's where the key is. So from the 1 hour, which is showing very sharp bullish impulsive move back to the upside, from the 4 hour as well, it's a sharply rising market. So you can see there is a fair value gap here, and it's a complete imbalance in the market where the market is heading back to the upside here. Looking forward to see the market is trending, and let me delete those lines again to draw it again to see where possibly the market be heading. I'm marking the key area of zone that you might see the price could come and retest, then we can look for that entry. So these are some of the levels the price may come and retest before it continue to rise here. Now here is 1 hour again close coming. So we have, if you look at the 4 hour price action, where it's a full body green, so we have 1 more hour for this candle to close on Xauusd. Now this 1 hour might be okay, so this is the 4 hour, in almost the same length as the 4 hour from the 1 hour that you can see. So a couple of hours we saw that there was a sideways movement, and now as this market is trending with this stronger momentum, which we could see that potentially continuing back to the upside, waiting for this breakdown here and then to rejection back to the upside. So 1 hour closed, and now with this candle closed, we may see now possible pullback. Now with this stronger move back to the upside here, waiting for that entry opportunity. Okay, so I think that sound is back now. It was awful. Sometime just got that audio rejected. Okay, so I hope that back on track. Thanks for confirming. Now we can see the market is, as I mentioned earlier, it's maintaining that market structure here on this lower time frame. The price is pushing back again after initial pullback in that area. Now here is what we can see, that as this market is from the intraday perspective is trending, and it has broken this swing high here, and with the swing high the price is above this level, the candle close above, and we may see the price to continue to push back to the upside in the major direction of the trend. So that being said, on the lower time frame, okay, so you can see it is showing that bullish market structure here, an impulse correction. The market is maintaining that series of higher high, okay, and higher low, which is in the major direction of the trend. So the market is in the major direction of the trend, and we could see that the price potentially to continue to the direction. So if you look at the 1 hour, you can see it's a stronger breakout. Now with this stronger breakout, we could see the price to continue to move back to the upside to create a new higher high. And it's a very stronger breakout that you can see at the moment. The reason is, if you look at the weekly bigger picture time frame, as I mentioned earlier, from the long term or the higher time frame perspective here, that you can see the market is breaking above here in that direction. Okay guys, finish. I'm going home. Can you please give a thumbs up here? Okay, so here is what we can see, the market in that area. The price has just broken this weekly high, and it's now heading back to the upside to this key level. So this is the weekly key level where the price is potentially heading back to the upside here, right? So this is the weekly swing high, which is an important key level, and it's now maintaining the smooth series of higher low. There's an imbalance, as you can see. It's a pure imbalance in that area, and with this imbalance the price is now trying to push back to the upside. Now looking at the lower time frame, you see that when I was looking at the higher time frame, I know that the market is basically preparing for a move here. Now when you look at the lower time frame, that's why you know that, because higher time frame showing that momentum to the upside, and the lower time frame now possibly giving a probability for an entry on a breakout structure. That's what you're looking at, right? So, and that's what I'm looking at as well, waiting for an awful breakout structure, that I would say that a complete breakout structure and then entry. This the same criteria that we have in our previous trade. When the market breaks from the structure, we have entered and it successfully closed with profit from a very important zone that we have entered. Now if you look at here, the same kind of pattern that you can see, the market is maintaining that breakout structure. So here is the 1 hour support. The market just has broken out of that, and also another important level. So some of the levels that I'd like to mark here on the intraday perspective on gold, and once we see the price has done that, we will be entering into the trade. So looking for now where we are looking at, I got a very frequent question where we are looking at gold to be heading to. Now you can see that this is where 3, 4, 4, 6, right, which is a swing high. And if we draw a trend line here potentially for this market to hit, and also here is a support trend line, and that could be a very important zone that we could see the market is going to hit. This is an unusual move back to the upside. Normally when you see the market is not doing any pullback, okay, so if you look at the market is not doing any pullback, right, so you can see that it's a strongly a bullish market where there is no significant pullback in this market. So this kind of market, in another way to more often you'll see that false breakout happen in that way as well. So when the market not in a pullback, and this kind of market where there is no pullback is sometimes very difficult to open position in the direction of the flow. Instead, better to wait for the pullback, the market to prepare for another move than to enter based on that. And that is where you can see the price is making its move, pullback, another move, pullback. So it's maintaining that series of higher high and higher low, which is in an uptrending market structure. Now, along with also the gold, we can look for, we are looking at the euro dollar, and euro dollar trade is running in. We are on another trade on euro USD. This market, from the daily, we have seen that initially it bounced back to the upside, and so far showing that bullish market structure. We have seen the price has crossed this low here. After cross of this low, after break of this support level, Euro USD started to bounce back to the upside here. Along with the euro dollar, also you can see that dollar yen, after also crossing that 10 and 20 EMA, dollar yen has managed to break this swing low here. And dollar yen, we can see the market trending. There is a drop, pullback, drop, pullback, drop, pullback. So you can expect dollar yen to continue to the downtrend, which is showing that the market is potentially breaking below here. And there is a previous swing low, which is on dollar yen from the intraday perspective. And below this level, if we look at the 4 hour here, we can see the market potentially come back here to break this low to grab the liquidity. As intraday perspective on dollar yen, this is a very important support, and we might see that dollar yen possibly coming back below and then grab the liquidity. So from the daily and from the intraday perspective, dollar yen is trending, and we might see the price to trend back down here to break this low. Along with that, on XAUUSD, which is still maintaining a very one directional stronger breakout here, that might take the price back to the upside here. And that is where we can see dollar yen XAUUSD is showing its momentum. So here is the previous resistance here on XAUUSD. The price is completely broken above this level, and we may see that trend continuation here to the upside to create a new higher high. So we have a couple of minutes for the 4 hour candle to close. Now, if this candle closing here with a long wick or no wick at the top, we might see that the price to potentially continue to rise back to the upside here. As we can see, there is no, this is a complete imbalance in the market. And if you look at the 5 minutes, that's where you can see the price is maintaining that bullish market structure. But at the same time, if we look at the 15 minutes, there is no decent pullback. We will be waiting for the pullback and then to enter, waiting for the market to break from that structure. And in the meantime, if we look at also the USD pairs, euro dollar, we are on a trade on euro dollar, which is currently running in after gold trade that we have closed. Maintaining a potentially still a bullish market structure. From the 1 minute, we can see that there was a, here also there was a breakout structure, and if you look at here, this kind of breakout structure is quite significant, as in this area that you can see where there was a candle close, the market has made its move back to the upside and then reverted back again. So you can see it's a very sharply rising market. Now, when we see the market moving in that stronger momentum, the best way is to wait for the price to break from that and then entering. Now, along with that, what we see on euro dollar and dollar yen, euro dollar in a, if we find further entry opportunity, you can look for, as from the daily, this instrument just tested the daily high and now potentially testing the daily low before it started to move in one direction. And from the weekly perspective here on euro dollar, we can see that from this weekly support, it made its move back to the upside. And dollar yen is, after the 10 and 20 MA crossover, it moved back to the upside. After this pullback, now it's completely broken from the structure, and we may see that continuation back below here on dollar yen. Now with that on gold, okay, so finally we see that one candle potentially to break below, because whenever the market is on a very stronger trend in one direction, it is always good idea is to wait for the market to ultimately create its momentum. And this is the previous support that we can see, 3408 level, which is a very important support level. And once the market maintain that structure, that's where you can look for an entry opportunity. So the chart is, I think the chart is stable now. Can you guys let me know? Okay, so I think chart is now stable, because you were looking for that the multi-time frame approach. So we are seeing that in around 25 minutes coming for the 4-hour close. Before the candle close, waiting for any of this important support to be violated to enter. Now, when we are looking for entry, the most important zone that we look for is the previous swing low in an uptrend, as below this level is where all the liquidity, that means that all the stop loss of the trend traders. And when the market overextend in one direction with a bigger move, when the market create an one directional move with a bigger ATR, then need to be cautious a little bit, because that is where it might just start to reverse, isn't it? So that is why timing of the candle close also important to see that when the market is forming this kind of structure. Sometimes just not being active is being active. We might be need to wait for one more 15 minutes or 5 minutes candle for any entry to enter any trade. Okay, so we are looking for the possible entry in the 1 minute chart again. Now at the moment we are looking to see a breakup structure on the 5 minutes as well, that we can see the 3408 can be a very important zone that we can look for entry. 5 minutes we see there is a pin bar formation at the top. Now we could look for an entry with this pin bar, but as the candle close coming, we might see that deeper pullback here. Looks like gonna buy again. Yeah, this is a bullish market, and therefore if you look at the 4 hour, you can see that it's a sharply bullish, and there is another important resistance coming up at 3422 level, which is the 4 hour previous liquidity zone. And the market potentially be with the 4-hour candle close to go back up to hit that level. That most likely you'll see the price is going back up to hit that 4-hour resistance line 3422 level. After double top, lower TP. Yeah, it is always a good idea is to look for buy on a bull market. That's the simplest, easiest calculation to do. Buying on a bull market, selling on a bear market, regardless of the market structure, regardless of anything else. So now you can see that kind of structure formation here. The market is maintaining that bullish market structure. So we had a previous session, there was a very good trading opportunity that we have taken on gold. And from that zone, in fact, the market is still moving. And the trade that we have opened in our previous session is now almost 320 pip move back to the upside from that level. This is the zone that we have chosen for an entry in the lower time frame. And that level was quite important. If you look at here, you can see that this is the support level. And in the past, from that level, the market has made its move back to that level, has dropped to the support, moved back to that level, has dropped to that support, has moved back to the level. So what's happening is that the market is maintaining that bullish market structure here. And that bullish market structure, whenever the price is breaking to this important support, the market is getting that rejection from that level. And as a trend trader, the most important job for us is to look for those supports where the market may take a bigger move. For our close coming up here in 15 minutes. So we can see that there is another 15 minutes bull candle with a very narrow doji. Right, so waiting for a suitable breakout structure, still maintaining a very stronger bullish market structure. And before this candle close, we will see two more 5 minutes candle, and if we see that one drop back here to the swing low, can be a very important zone that we can look for an entry. Are you in the trade right now? Not yet. On gold, we are trade on euro dollar, and we had early trade on gold, waiting for an entry. Here in this live session, there is no trade yet. We are waiting for proper entry opportunity. Very stronger bullish market structure formation. Until we see proper entry, the patience is only the key here. Okay, so when there is no trade, there is no trade. Okay, so you can't force the trade. That might be giving it's overextended to the upside at the moment. Okay, the market is still maintaining that bullish market structure in that area, and Okay, so you can see it's still maintaining a very stronger bullish market structure, and we are almost nearly to the end of a 4-hour candle close, and with this 4-hour candle close we might see the market to continue to rise back to the upside. And when the market is such a stronger momentum, without breakout structure, it's not a good idea for any kind of entry. Okay, so you can see that the candle has closed. I've been disconnected for a while, so back on track. And (15 minutes) price action, the market has broken back below here. It just has crossed that previous support. So from the 1 hour, we can see the price has just broken that low here. 30 minutes, pretty sharp bullish engulfer. And from the 15 minutes, we can see that there is a bullish candlestick pattern formation on the 15-minute chart here on gold. Now, for us to enter any position here, if we look at in this area, so we'll be looking for any entry. Still, we haven't found proper suitable entry opportunity, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this live session. Today we have an open position, but I will still be waiting for an entry in this upcoming session. And thank you for joining this live session. As we are coming live, in our previous session we had a massive trade. Now this session we are waiting for an entry. We haven't found it, still waiting for the NY session to progress. If there is any trade, also I'm going to share in the group. I'll see you again very soon, trading live together in another live session. Thanks for joining. We'll talk to you soon in another update.